Okay, in this video we're going to do an overview of the two cameras on the Samsung Galaxy Nexus phone for Verizon Wireless. Now you have a front-facing camera on this device, which is a 1.3 megapixel camera, and then on the rear of the phone you have a 5 megapixel camera with an LED flash here. This camera on the back here is capable of recording 1080p video at 30 frames per second. Both cameras offer touch-to-focus, geotagging, and face detection. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter into the camera app here. And here you go. Now obviously this is placed down, so it's using the rear-facing camera here. And we're going to start with the rear-facing camera. Now the software has been redone for Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. One thing to note is the zero shutter lag. So you can take rapid-fire pictures here. Now you have your double tap to focus, and then you have your slider here, which zooms in and out. And you can actually see the fibers on my cloth down here. Now with Ice Cream Sandwich you don't have any buttons on the device, but you do have your hidden buttons here. And if you see, there's some faint little dots here. And when you press here, it brings up your navigation keys, your multitasking button, your home button, and your back button. So if you want to get out of here, you can use those buttons to back out of the camera here. You'll also notice, as I showed you here, the shutter button. And down here, it gives you a couple of options. The center one here, which is selected, is actually the camera. So that's the still camera. And if you want, you can use the front-facing camera by clicking up here. And there we go. That is the camera filming right now. Now also, you have a couple of options here which include a panoramic view and a video camera. I'm going to actually have a full video on the panoramic camera option on my channel, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to see actual panoramic pictures I took, you can check my Google Plus account. I have an album of, I think, 4 panoramic pictures I took with this device. Now the other option you'll see here is the settings. So we're going to click on settings here, and it gives you a couple of options. It allows you to turn on and off your flash. That's the first selection here. You can put it on auto, on, or off. Right now it's off. The next selection down here is the white balance. You can keep it on auto, or you can use, if your lighting conditions are incandescent, you can put that, daylight, fluorescent, or cloudy. The next selection down here is your exposure. Right now it's on 0, but you can do all the way to +3 and all the way down to -3. The next option here is your scene mode. You could do auto, you could do action, you could do night, you could do sunset, and you could do party. And the last selection down here is your 3 dots. And anytime you see 3 dots on Ice Cream Sandwich, that means that's your menu option. So let's click on that. And you can see camera settings, you can store the location, which is your geotagging. Right now I have it off. And then your pixel size is 5 megapixels. You could drop that down, but the height of the pixel size or the size of the picture that you're going to be taking is 5 megapixels because this is a 5 megapixel camera, or at least the rear camera is. So let's minimize that, and we're going to take pictures of something. Okay, here's a Rubik's Cube. I think I used this for my camera test on the Motorola Atrix phone, but I just needed a subject here. So let me take a couple of pictures here. If I wanted to, I could focus in on the cube itself. Now I said this before in one of my previous videos, but filming this screen does not do the screen justice. You know, when you're watching this on YouTube, it doesn't even compare to seeing the screen in person. This screen is so beautiful, the colors are vibrant, and if you have the opportunity, definitely check out this screen in person. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the lights in here and take a picture of this Rubik's Cube with the lights off and the flash on the phone. Alright, the lights are off in here, and let's see if we can, I can't really see my subject here, but hopefully I'm pointing in the right direction. And let's take a picture. Let's try that again. There we go. And let's look at one of those pictures. So that's the quality of the camera. In no light situations. Okay, the next thing we're going to explore is the panorama option here. Now, I do have a full dedicated video on this, so please click the link at the end of this video and you can see the dedicated video on the panoramic function here, but I'm just going to touch on it really quickly. Basically, what it allows you to do is take a still shot of a panorama. And what you do is you move the camera, and there will be a little indicator on the screen here as to how far you are in your panorama, and it kind of guides you in your motion, and it stitches all the photos together into one panoramic view. Again, you can check out my, I think it's like I said, 4 different panoramic pictures I took with this device. You can check out my Google Plus account and check those out. But like I said, we're just going to touch on that. The next thing we're going to dive into here is the video camera on this device. Now, I have several video camera tests loaded up to my channel. So again, click the link at the end of this video if you want to see those. I think I have 3 or 4 different video camera tests with this phone. But I'm going to click on the video camera function here, and it should switch to video camera mode. Now, when you're in video camera mode, you don't have the option to focus by tapping, but you still do have the slider to zoom in and out. Of course, you have the option to film with the rear-facing camera or the front-facing camera, just like with the still shots. And here is your record button. So right now we're filming, got the Rubik's Cube here, spinning around a little bit. Put it back in. Then if you want to play it back, you just click on here, and it gives you some options for sharing if you want. And I'm just going to play this now. So right now we're filming, got the Rubik's Cube here, spinning around a little bit. Put it back. One thing I do like about this phone is the microphone. It picks up sound very well with the video camera on this device. Let's back out of this. Now, the last thing I want to cover on this are the different settings. I'm going to click on the settings button here. Now, similar to the still camera mode, you have your flash, so you can have the flash on or off. And if you're in a low light setting, that comes in handy. The next selection here is your white balance. Again, you could use auto, incandescent, daylight, fluorescent, and cloudy. The next selection down here is interesting. It's the effects. You could actually do real-time silly faces on this device. So you can do a squeeze, you could do big eyes, you could do big mouth, you could do small mouth, you could do big nose, you could do small eyes. And then the background here, you could do in space, sunset, disco, and then pick your own. So there are a lot of cool little effects here, and that's one of the new perks in Ice Cream Sandwich. The next selection down here is your time-lapse interval. So you can actually do time-lapse photography with this. So if you would set this up somewhere stable, you could actually do some time lapses. You could do 1 second intervals, 1.5 second intervals, 2 second intervals, all the way up to 10 second intervals. The next selection here is your video quality. You could do HD 720, you could do HD 1080, and you could do your SD, which is 480p. The default here is 720, but you can do 1080. For the videos that I uploaded to YouTube, I did the 720. And the last selection down here, again, is your menu option, and that allows you to store your location. That, again, is your geotagging. So that is the camera on the Samsung Galaxy Nexus phone. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you want to see this camera in action, definitely check out some videos I already have posted on this camera, the video camera. And again, if you want to see the actual panoramic pictures I took, check out my Google Plus account. So that pretty much does it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.